All right, so today I want to talk about production quality. Production quality is the measurement by which we use to grade the products and processes that we use here in the factory. It's important because it pretty much affects everything we do. It affects how much time we spend on guitars. It affects what our customers think about the guitars that we make. So it's a very important thing that we do here. It affects the cost. Basically, our goal is to put out work as quickly and low cost as possible and still have the highest customer satisfaction with our products. There's 4 different ways we can define quality, all right? So one would be, is it created to specification? Does it have the right parts on it? In final assembly, does it have the right tuners on it? In paint, does it have the right paint color? Back in whitewood, did we put the right center block in it? All those things are an important part of quality, making sure that we have the right parts on it. Structural integrity is another important part of quality. Is the glue going to hold over time? Is the neck going to start coming apart later on down the road? Is the binding going to separate once it gets through the finishing department and stuff's gotten on there? You can see a sink in there. And you know, was the thing built according to our quality standards in the first place? So structural integrity, if it'll hold together, that's an important part. Visually, when someone looks at our guitars, they should see, you know, the paint is consistent throughout. They should see that the hardware is lined up. Everything should be symmetrical. There shouldn't be any burns or anything like that. So visual quality is a very important part of what we do here. And finally, playability. Because we work in musical instruments, it needs to be something someone can pick up and play and expect a high quality of playing as well. Being the company that we are, you know, you want people to regard the way our instruments play very high. So does the neck adjust? Does the truss rod adjust? Do the strings align with the pickups? Does it sound right when you start playing it? And if you tune the guitar, will it hold its tuning? Another important thing to players is, are the frets smooth? Whenever you slide your hand down the neck of the guitar, are you going to cut your finger because the frets are jagged because somebody didn't smooth them out with a file? Aside from quality of the product, it's important that we have quality in our process. Do we do unnecessary steps? One thing that pretty much everybody in here that works over with me knows is we have a thing that we do where we paint the peg heads of guitars 3 times. And I haven't quite figured out why we do that yet, but I'm going to work it out. And that's just a waste of time. We're doing the same thing 3 times. It wastes 3 different people's time. We could do that once and achieve the same goal if we did it properly. Is the work that you do close to the area that you work in? Tasha, I know you got to walk 20 steps to put your guitar up when you're done with it. 45 steps, she says. Are your tools nearby? That's another thing. Do you have to walk to the other end of your work area to pick up a tool to finish what you're doing? Do you have the proper tools you need? One of the things that we worked on here early on when I first started over here was the spray guns were in terrible condition. So we revamped the spray gun so that we can shoot the proper spray pattern without worrying about the gun changing on us in the middle of it. Fresh buzzer pads. Whenever we scuff sand our guitars, are we causing spin marks in it? So tools are important. The product flow. This is a big one, and everybody here is affected by this. Do you have work to do all day? Is there a point in time where you're just standing around and basically wasting your time and everybody else's? Does the work come over to you in large batches where you get 30 at one time and then you have to wait for 20 minutes to get the next one after that? And finally, bottlenecks. Is there a certain area in your department where 20 guitars will sit all day and this person will get one out every 15 minutes? So product flow is a very important part of the quality standards of our process. Having standards in place for product and processes, operators should work to those standards, and also the inspectors should inspect to the quality standards that we have in place. Okay, so who inspects these guitars? Operators should inspect their work when it comes into them, and they should also inspect it when it goes out. The inspectors that we have in place here also have a responsibility to spend pretty much most of their time inspecting those guitars and making sure that they have pristine quality as they pass through every area. So the leader's responsibilities in all this are to create those standards that we talked about, to create workflow, to make sure that everybody's got their work all day, to remove waste, and to provide tools and materials that everyone needs to get their job done. And how we can achieve this, pretty simple steps. Handle the product as little as possible is one. If you pick up the same guitar 5 times, that's 5 chances to bump it against something. Keep area clean. We call that 5S here. Pretty much just make sure there's nothing in your way when you're moving around to doing your job. Follow standards and process and quality. So both the process and quality standards that I've talked about a million times. And also accountability. When we have a consistent issue, being able to return to that source and correct that issue. So in conclusion, making Quality King will lower our costs. It'll make the employees happier because you guys can go home on time, which is a big deal. And it makes our customers happier because they know exactly what to expect when they buy our products.